Hello everyone, welcome to your 20th Grasshopper tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to learn about tree basics and working with trees in Grasshopper. So first thing you want to do is open your Rhino, and if you go to the top view, we're just going to draw like a bunch of curves. So go to curve, freeform, interpolate points, and just draw random curves. Okay, this should be enough. So first thing you want to do in your Grasshopper is type in geometry. Okay, let's go to perspective here. You can see that all my curves are in the X and Y axis. I don't have anything in the Z, so it's basically flat. So, okay, so what you want to do is just right click, set multiple geometries. So we have this curves, enter, and let's type divide curve. So if you connect your geometry to the curve, you can see that each curve have 10 points. So two things you have to notice is that divide curve did not treat all the curves as one geometry. It treated as like each curve on its own. So each curve have 10 points. How do I know it's 10 points? We just hover on the count. It says 10 segments. So by default it's 10. You can change it by adding a number slider or just right clicking, setting integer, and just say how much you want it. So the other thing is that if you type in a panel and then just connect the panel to your points, you can see that what we have is actually multiple datas, and each data is like arranged in like its own path. So what the path, this here is called the path. Here are your indexes. So we have 11 indexes, and these are the data you have on each index. So these are basically your points. So this here is the location of your points. So let's say point 0 is on -1, whatever. And so this here is a path, this here is a path, here and here. So you're probably wondering, okay, what exactly am I looking at? And basically this here is this curve. So this curve is like one path, this curve is the other path, and this is the third path, and this is the fourth path. If you just go to your param, the tab, and go to util, and then go to param viewer, and you just connect it, what you can see is just says we have data with 4 branches. So basically what you're saying is like we have one main tree, and this tree has 4 branches. So the path, this is the first branch, second branch, third branch, the fourth branch, and each branch has a number of indexes. Sometimes in other people's definition, you're going to see something like this. If you just right click and go draw tree, you're going to see that we have this fancy drawing of whatever. And basically just saying this is a tree and we have 4 branches for this tree. So 4 branches is the 4 curves we have. So you're probably wondering, what else can we do with this information? Well, if you type in polyline, and you connect your points to the vertices of your polyline, you can see that each curve was treated on its own. So like this path was its own polyline, and this path made its own polyline. So basically by default, you can see that it treats it as one path only per curve. A thing you have to notice also is that you have here the dashed line, and the dashed line means you have multiple data going through the component. So if you don't have this dashed line, you can just go to display and go to draw fancy lines and make sure it's on. And this is how you're going to see your lines. Let's say I don't want Grasshopper to treat each curve as its own path. I want the whole thing to be one whole path. So what you can do is just double click and type in flatten tree, and just connect your point here. You can see that it treated it as like one full path, and it made one whole polyline for all your curves. You're probably wondering why it's not connecting. It's just the boolean here unclosed is set by default to false. You want it true, and you can see that it connected it. Now there's other ways to flatten trees. So if you just connect it together like this, you can see that it treats it like each curve on its own, and it's closed because it's just set the boolean to true, so it's okay. You can just right click and type in flatten. Now if you just click it like this, it does the same thing as flattening your tree. Now if you put flatten here or here, it's the same thing. It doesn't make a difference. But another way to flatten also, if you just right click and type F, you can see that it does the same thing as flattening all your data into one. Now to make sure that it really did flatten, if you just type in flatten tree again, connect it, and you get in panel, you can see that all your branches was like set to one branch only, so your tree has one branch and just made all the data into one path. So if you just get another one of this param viewer, you can see that it's just one branch only for all your data. So yeah, what else can you do with data trees? Okay, so let's just delete all this, and I will draw a bunch of lines. So just hide this. Let's draw lines. So 1 line, 2 line, 3, 4, and then just copy it vertically. Okay, so we have, let's say, like 2 lines or 2 polyline or 2 shapes, and we want to loft it. So what you can do is just double click, type in geometry, and just right click, set multiple geometries for the first one, set multiple geometries for the second one, and say you want to loft it. So there's 2 ways to connect 2 definitions into one. You can just hold shift and you can see that you can select them both. Some people prefer putting the merge command, and it's actually cleaner if you think about it, but it's just personal reference. Either way, your result is wrong. Now, why is your result wrong? The thing is, if you just connect the panel, you can see that it's one path for all your lines. What you want to do is actually make each line its own path. Like you don't want it like one tree with one branch. You want one tree with all lines in its own branches. In this case, probably like 8 branches. So what you can do is type in something called graphed tree. So graph tree is the opposite of flattening your tree, which is basically making all your reference lines into its own path. So as you can see, we have here, like this geometry here was made in different paths, and because this one was not graphed yet, you can see that it's all in one path. So you just gotta get another graph and connect it. And now you can see that it treats each line on its own, and you have a much better much better result for your loft, or a correct result for your loft. So what graphed is just the opposite of flattening your tree, and what flattening your tree is basically making all your paths into one. So this is basically what it is for the trees and grafting trees and flattening trees in Grasshopper. You realize that let me see if you can. Yeah, graph is also here for the definitions. And yeah, sometimes when your data is wrong, if you flatten it, you will have the results you want. Sometimes grafting it won't give you the results you want. So I get asked a lot, like what is the flatten and the graft, and this is basically, like for now, how you deal with your trees and your plots and your data and your branches with Grasshopper. So hopefully this tutorial was useful, and yeah, if you have any comments or any questions, just type in the comment section below, and I'll see you next tutorial.